Olá pessoal, aqui é o Eduardo do The News. Vim contar quem tirei no amigo secreto de podcasters do TikTok. Foi o Beto Estrada, do Matando Robôs Gigantes. Escolhi de presente pra ele um livro maravilhoso, realista e com foco em questões sociais, que bombou no TikTok. Sabia que agora já tem até um musical dele? É o Torto Arado, do Itamar Vieira Júnior.
O TikTok esse ano fez milhões de pessoas voltarem a ler. Um simples TikTok pode gerar um grande impacto. Descubra livros incríveis e muito mais no TikTok.
Ei, você aí que gosta tanto de aprender. Sabia que a transição energética justa já faz parte da sua vida? Com a Petrobras, ela está no apoio a projetos socioambientais, no desenvolvimento de energias renováveis e na redução de emissões. Com inovação e respeito ao meio ambiente, a Petrobras é líder na transição energética justa. E isso é bom para todo mundo. Petrobras, o Brasil é a nossa energia. Brasil, União e Reconstrução.
Sonhei em fazer faculdade, mas tem medo de não dar conta? Calma, escuta só o recado da Rebeca Andrade.
Brilha sem medo. A universidade é o seu lugar, sim. E a Estácio tem soluções que provam isso. Acredita, eu também sou aluna.
Viu só? Agora aproveita que os cursos estão a partir de R$ 129 por mês e inscreva-se em estácio.br.
Brilha sem medo. Brilha com a maior do Brasil.
Gentlemen, we are less than, 12 hours? Well, less than 10 hours away from the greatest day in sports history. The NFL makes their, I guess, inaugural. I mean, they've played on Christmas before. This is the first time they bullied their way on to Christmas, but NFL's going to Christmas. How you all feeling?
It's on Netflix, so let's see if it works.
Oh, yeah. We seen what happened with the Tyson fight. So.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch that because I knew it was like, well, let's see. On my list of things to do that night, I think that Tyson-Paul fight came in like number 39. So I had to hear. I heard Netflix's connection was kind of spotty. It's a lot of people watch that.
That's an understatement.
If you got a chance to watch it, it was buffering some. There were some that couldn't even log into their own Netflix account because of the traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I expect that fight's viewership was a little bit bigger than the games we're going to get this weekend.
Absolutely.
But the games are going to stress it.
Yeah, it will. It will get stressed. So if you're trying to binge the latest season, if you're trying to binge Orange is the New Black or anything else out there, you might want to take a day off because football fans are coming and they're coming to make a mess of your playpen. Speaking of Christmas, gentlemen, let's just go around the room real quick. What are you happy for? What are you thankful for in this sports calendar now that we're getting close to the end of the year?
I know I'm very thankful to have a team that I can be proud of, a football team I can be proud of, because there's been many seasons where it's like, let's just get this thing over with.
That's kind of shady, but what's up, Foster?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely. It's been a nice present to have a couple playoff teams to speak about. The Tigers have been great this year. The Lions are 13-2, something that I've never been able to witness in my life. Well, I don't think anybody's been able to witness it in their lifetime in the NFL era. But yeah, even the Pistons are hanging on. We got that win last night against the Lakers. I feel bad because I went against, I picked against them in that game. It just seemed so unlikely. But yeah, we got a lot of winners around here. Red Wings got to get their act together, to be honest. Everybody else is holding up their end of the bargain.
I guess that was shady too, huh, Pay?
No, it was definitely shady because the Red Wings been keeping that city afloat for the longest. So I mean, if they want to take a break, man, you gotta let them.
They've been on a break for a minute now.
They've been on a break for a little while, though.
Well, I mean, I think they said the same thing about the Lions. Dave,
hey, it's a magical time of year, and I'm grateful for this magical season. Who'd thought that the Vikings would more than double their preseason projections and be 13-2, baby. And now we have somewhat of a quarterback controversy as to whether do we keep Sam Darnold, try to extend him, or do we stick to the plan? And that's the biggest talking point across Vikings land, and it's getting nothing but louder. Now, it all depends on what happens over the next few weeks as to how loud it will get, but we shall see. And it's going to be interesting. But I'm grateful for this wonderful season that we've had. It was a surprise. We're quasi in a rebuild-ish deal. And, with the Lions having their franchise best season ever, we're tied 13-2.
I'm thankful for expiring contracts. Let's get some of this dead weight up out of here. That's what I'm hopeful for. It's either going to light a fire underneath your butt and get you to do some things that you should have been doing a long time ago, or I can just count down the days till you're gone. I'm loving that, especially now as we're getting closer to baseball season. 52 days away from Valentine's Day.
There are playoffs to watch.
Oh, I'm gonna watch the playoffs. I'm thankful for that too, Dave. Thankful for playoff football. Playoff football is the gift that keeps on giving, especially to my parlays, and especially because I don't have to watch my team. Speaking of my team, my team played the Detroit Lions in Week 16. June, Foster, how was that game with you guys?
The most important thing is we got a victory, and there were no major injuries after that game. So those are the two takeaways I have from that game, and also just keeping pace with the rest of the NFL, making it more difficult for the teams with lesser records. We want to stay ahead of those guys because we want that home playoff advantage. We want the NFC first week bye and all that stuff. So good win. Like I said, we're just thankful to be in a position that we're in. The game went kind of sorta like I thought it would. I didn't think it would be a close game. I didn't think it would be a blowout per se, but I did think the Bears would fight, and they did. So there was some fight.
Maybe fighting on the sidelines, probably. I don't know. Maybe you saw something I didn't see, but probably that Tyson Paul fight again. That again I did not see. The
second quarter, there was some fight.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, the second quarter in which the Lions failed to score on every possession they had in the first half. Maybe that's what you meant. Foster, everything happened expected according to plan.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears played us tough early on. I kind of saw the same thing that I saw in the first game, where they held us on third down and held us in the red zone early in the game and forced us to some field goals. I think it wasn't until that Jameson Williams long pass that he caught that we really opened things up. But we did a good job of running the ball, which I was kind of concerned about to see how we were going to do, because we didn't do a good job of that in the previous game. But Jahmyr Gibbs kind of got back in a groove, and we were able to control the time of possession. But honestly, the two mishaps by Rome Odunze were major, were big factors in the game. You guys did have 10 penalties for 70 yards at inopportune times, and you guys just weren't able to convert on third down. I think Caleb Williams had a pretty good game. He went 26 for 40 for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he was only 2 for 10 on third down. So the incompletions that he did have were once again at inopportune times, and that hurt you guys. So.
Inopportune. That is the word of the day as it describes the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams, as you mentioned, he is on pace for one of the greatest QB seasons ever, regardless of rookie. He has now reached 9 starts, in which he has threw 0 interceptions, which is the most such losses in a single season for a QB since QB starts have been recorded since 1950. His interception less streak is now 326 consecutive attempts without an interception. That is 100 attempts longer than a previous rookie record, and the longest in Bears history, obviously, of course, because Bears don't do quarterbacks, right? Another thing I took from that game, Caleb Williams, he was 4-5 under the previous offensive coordinator. He's now 0-6 under Thomas Brown. But there's some light at the end of that tunnel. Waldron, he was 9 TDs, 5 interceptions, 80 pass rating. With Thomas Brown, 10 TDs, no picks, 101 pass rating. So, I mean, you can like what you see there, right? To your point there, Foster, Caleb Williams looked good. A lot of soft coverage in that second half, but hey, we'll take it. He had he had a clean pocket. So for those Bears fans that are still anti-Caleb, a little Caleb agnostic or whatever, I like to say, you saw what he looked like with a clean pocket. Again, a lot of soft coverage. So maybe you can be a little pessimistic still, a little glass half empty, if you will. But for me, what I saw in that game, I started counting down. There's one less day on the calendar, June. One less day. 14 days until Black Tuesday. Like I told you, 52 days until pitches and catches report on Valentine's Day. And that's all I care about right now. And you know what? That's all the players care about too. They're playing out the string, and so am I. I cannot wait till I can enjoy Chicago-based sports again. Shout out to my Cubs. And I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy the summer until training camp opens back up next August rather. Because who says this 9-game losing streak is going to end? It might be 19 by the time we look up this time next year.
Nah, you're going to have a new coach by then, and you're looking forward to the Cubbies, but you got basketball and hockey going on.
Oh yeah. Those Blackhawks, they're pretty. No, they're not. Those Bulls, no, they aren't either. But like Dave, you make a great point. You're gonna have a new coach, same culture, same players in this locker room. Who's to say this this loser streak is going to end? I mean, you shouldn't have got this far, right? They let it get this far because they have no leaders in that locker room. The head coach is gone. Offensive coordinator is gone. General manager on a hot seat. No one else left to blame except the guys are still there. All those players. In fact, you remember that movie Juice? I know y'all have seen it because it's required viewing for this show. You all remember that scene when Q and Bishop got into it in Steele's mom's house and got to knocking over furniture and everything, and Steele's mad. And then what happened after that? Raheem jumped up and said, "All right, that's it.
Squash it."
He jumped up and cut all that chaos off right there. Bears don't have a Raheem. Because if they did, that Hail Mary in week 8 would not have snowballed into 8 more losses.
Do you have a Bishop on the team?
Oh, we've got nothing but Bishops on the team. Nothing but people snaking.
Stevenson's definitely Bishop.
I wouldn't say no. Stevenson's he's definitely got me. He's definitely a steal.
He's a steal.
He's a steal. Yeah. But we got a lot of Bishops. We ain't got no Raheem. That Hail Mary snowball into 8 more losses. Who's to say there's a snowball to 8 more? Going into next year.
Wow.
We have no one in this locker room that could turn anything around. Just say, cut it out. Like I said, that Hail Mary should have been an inflection point. But all we did is start pointing fingers and saying, "Whoop, woe is me." Shrug my shoulders and keep it moving with the next one. I can't wait to get to Tulum. And because of all that, I am less confident that next year won't be more the same. More the same of people coming into the Bears house, going into their kitchen and eating their food, eating their food and taking it right off their table. Putting their dirty hands through the Bears refrigerator, taking the last pop, going to sit on their couch, kick their feet up, and enjoy themselves because the Bears ain't doing nothing about it.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words for you. I don't. Oh well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. That product is horrible.
It is what it is.
Got you a loss full of words too, huh? All right, but it's just like this, June. You got to fix the culture, and then
absolutely
once they figure, I don't care who they hire. If they don't fix the culture, nothing's going to change. Once they do that, get back to me. Until then, it's 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Now, I did notice from the game that Keenan Allen and Caleb Williams are developing quite the chemistry. There were some beautiful strikes.
Oh yeah, those two, Caleb Williams, not Caleb Williams, but Keenan Allen was the leading wide receiver in that game. I think he's had his best turnabout under Thomas Brown's 3-year, three game era as a head coach of the Chicago Bears. That might be something he can take to his agent, and they can argue for a new contract with the Chicago Bears. I hope they do not. We do not need Keenan Allen, a 34-year-old wide receiver, eating into that cap room. We need to keep Brian Poles or whomever the GM focused on fixing the needs of this team. We don't need an agent wide receiver. We don't need another wide receiver at all. If you're going to get one, there's a draft. There's a draft in April. There's plenty of them out there. Go get one from there, a cheap one. Don't need somebody who's going to demand upwards of 20 a year. Nah. But yeah, Keenan Allen did look good, and in those two successive drives to end the first half in which the Bears scored a touchdown. First time the Bears have scored in the first half in about 4 games.
Hey, you'll get the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator's new head coach next year.
Yeah. I like that cycle of rinse and repeat, Dave.
I did read where Brian Poles has been given the go-ahead to choose the next head coach. But then once he chooses it, it needs to go to Kevin Warren and then the owner's son.
That sounds like that's the way it's supposed to go, right? The general manager's supposed to do the dirty work. He's supposed to get approval from his superiors. I mean, that's how it's supposed to go. I mean, Ryan Poles should, in my opinion, spend his Christmas with his family and not show back up to Hallis Hall. That's just me, though. Dave, week 16. You all had a nail biter with those, what do you call them? The sea chickens?
Sea chickens. Mm-hmm.
What was the story behind that?
Oh, it's how do you roast a team that colors itself in navy blue and chartreuse green? You do it like a chicken.
Chartreuse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For those that fish, no, the color, it's a color of a lure. But anyways, or the pike. It was a good game. It was a tough game because the Seattle Seahawks were playing for their playoff lives as well, and very well could be playoff bound. It was bad weather. It was rainy. It was cold. It was windy. We had injured players that weren't playing, and yet we took the lead, lost the lead, and then came back with a game-winning drive with Sam Darnold after spraining his ankle, moving around in the pocket, moving up in the pocket, and then throwing the absolute perfect pass to a doubled Justin Jefferson over the defense. He spins midair, catches it, goes in for the touchdown. Vikings win 27-24 to go 13-2 on the season and hopefully lead to week 18 in the biggest game of the season yet. It was
biggest game so far, Dave.
So far.
Yeah. You got, because all roads, as the title says, all roads are leading to a certain week for you, for your team and our Detroit Lions brethren.
If all goes well this week.
Yeah. I mean, you don't put the horse before the cart. Don't put the cart before the horse, right? Yes, you don't want to look ahead, but we're not on the field, so we can
look ahead.
right.
We don't have to go with the win one at a time philosophy.
Right. I mean, I want to win all of them at a time. Unfortunately, my team is the Bears. So the reason why we say this is because those Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday afternoon, in the late slate, Jalen Hurts got a concussion 11 plays into the game. He was done. In comes Kenny Pickett, everyone's favorite Steeler. And he could not maintain that lead. I think the Eagles were up by 7 when Hurts went out, and then Saquon had a long touchdown to put them up 14-0. This is after Jalen Hurts got hurt, but those they made a comeback, and now Philadelphia ended up losing that game late to the DC Commanders. So now Philadelphia is they're not officially out of the running for the number 1 seed, but their pathway there is a lot less visible than you guys. I'm gonna just go ahead and say what they need to happen for them to get into the number 1 seed. So the Eagles, they have to beat the Cowboys and the Giants. They need the Vikings to lose to the Packers, which is disgusting to even say out loud. And they need the Lions to lose out. They lose to the 49ers and the Vikings. That is the only scenario in which Philadelphia could get that number 1 seed and the only bye in the NFC portion of the playoffs. So, fellas, all roads lead to week 18 when you all bump heads again. I remember we did this last year towards the end of the season, where the Vikings had a shot to knock the Lions out of off that perch and win the division. So, Dave, are you familiar with all the scenarios the Vikings need for the playoff for they to win the NFC North? Well, not the NFC North, but the NFC conference.
Win out. It's win out for us. We got to beat the Packers this weekend and then beat the Lions the week after. It's simple. It's in our control, as they say. That's as simple as it gets.
There's also another scenario which you all don't win out. There's a chance that if the Vikings were to beat the Lions and the 49ers beat the Lions, obviously the Lions will lose out. And the Eagles lose at least one more time, Minnesota would get it. Just one more win. Just one more. You need the Lions to give you a little bit of help. But that's if you obviously if you mess around and lose to the Packers, which let's be honest here. If you had to do one or the other, one game, you could only take one game, Dave. You would want to beat the Packers instead of the Lions, right?
Correct.
All right. That's right. Beef Foster.
Yeah.
You all know, you all have been sitting in that number 1 spot all season. You all went out.
Since week 4.
Since week 4.
Not all season. We lost the second game. So
that's true.
That's true. And then you, for all intents and purposes, all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
All intents and purposes, you all been sitting in that power ranking spot for the longest. But as it relates to the record, like you said, week 5 after Minnesota took an L. It's been a while. Since it's been a while, you all have to actually think about not being number 1. Obviously, if you went out, you handle your business, you're there, you get that week off, you can kick your feet up like everybody does when they're playing the Bears. Are you in any way worried about this first game on your schedule against the San Francisco 49ers?
Worried. I'm cautious. I'm cautious of it. They've been eliminated from the playoffs. I think the schedulers definitely thought there'd be more implications for this game, especially because we were between each other and making it to the Super Bowl. So, this game could have very well meant something had things gone differently for San Francisco. But I think that they do possess the opportunity to play spoilers for us. But I think that we would relish in the opportunity to run up the score a little bit because they did stand in the way of us and getting to the Super Bowl. So it should be an interesting game. But I think that the injury bug, although they haven't had it as bad as us, as no one has, I think that it has affected them in a worse way. The biggest ones being Christian McCaffrey being hurt, Trent Williams being injured. Who else? Brandon Ayuk very early in the year. And I believe they're shutting down Greenlaw as well for the rest of the year. So,
well, Greenlaw's only played one game.
Yeah, right. He was hurt most. Yeah, he got hurt in the Super Bowl, right, on that celebration or whatever. I think that he's not going to. I think they're shutting him down as well. So, should be an interesting game.
What's interesting is you thinking the Lions injury rolls have been worse than the 49ers. I don't know about that one, buddy.
More IR. I think we've got more guys on the IR.
Oh, yeah, you got more guys on the IR, but the names in which they've lost.
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
Okay.
Hutchinson won.
Our entire linebacking core is on the IR right now.
What's the big names on 49ers?
Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, that's one.
Trent Williams.
That's two.
Debo missed games.
No. No, we're not doing that.
Trying to slide that in there.
Debo's missed games.
Let's talk IRs in regards of missing most of the season. Because right now Debo's playing. Correct.
In some regards,
well,
I think
all
right. How about the better receiver on the team, Brandon Ayuk, IR, was been gone since October. Who else? You got. You're not going to want me to say this, but Fred Warner's has playing with a broken ankle.
Okay.
Then you got Drake Greenlaw, as B. Foster said, hurt himself coming off the sideline in the Super Bowl. He came back, finally made a comeback. Only for their season to be, we're mathematically limited. Go sit back down, bro. They've got they've got Pro Bowlers, if not all pros guys, just sitting over there collecting checks.
Okay.
Now, to answer your question, though, looking at our lads, you got Wisnowski, McCaffrey, Hargrave, Luter, Mason, Feliciano, Robinson, Odom, Givens, Batch, Ayuk, Bethune, Mitchell, all on IR. Plus they have P-Line on IR, scheduled to return. Jackson Drake, defensive end, on the PUP. And you got a suspended Campbell Sr.
Okay, now go over our IRs.
I think we have enough time in this show for all that.
Yeah.
Sure we do.
Let's not
because we're missing.
Let's not compare grief.
Well, I can Montgomery.
You got Alzoni, Rodriguez, Hutchinson, Moody, Davenport. Forget about Davenport. You always forget about Davenport. One play and he's done. Rakenstraw, McNeil, Badgley, Kaminsky, Raymond, Galvin, Green, Barnes, Davis, Lynn, Dorsey, Wingo, and Pico.
I think it's all perspective. I think from a 49ers perspective, when they look at the Lions guys, they're like, oh, who are some of those guys? And that's kind of the way I feel with some of the 49ers, because I don't follow them so tough. But I mean, yeah, Trent Williams, McCaffrey, who's only had 50 carries the whole year, Ayuk. I mean, definitely when you start at the top portion of it, I mean, those are pretty significant. I mean, Trent Williams is a bona fide All-Pro. I think he's been to like 10 or 11.
Best left tackle in the league.
Yeah, 11 Pro Bowls. I mean, but he played 10 games this year. He didn't just sit all year. He's
Yeah.
I think the 49ers are down to their 6th running back, all intents and purposes. So, yeah, again, I don't want to grief compare. Both teams are banged up.
Right. Trauma.
Yeah, one is 13-2, and the other one's what?
Yeah,
6-9, I think.
6-9.
I think it's obvious the injuries affected one more than the other, and that could be just because one team is just better than the other. I don't.
Or how they're spread.
Yeah, you can say that
Detroit's
too.
injuries are mostly on defense, and they've been able to outscore their way past teams that can score on their defense. Whereas it's spread out on the Niners.
Fair. I can go with that. June.
Yes, sir.
Ending closing up our discussion on playoff scenarios. Obviously, you would prefer to have that number 1 seed. You control your destiny in the playoffs. It is, and you can get a little bit of rest and maybe get a little bit more healthy, right? But do you have a preferred matchup in the second round? Oh no, you have a preferred matchup in the first round in the event you don't get that number 1 seed in that bye.
No, I don't have a preference at all. Win or lose, no matter what, the best scenario for me for the Lions to do is to win on Sunday versus Frisco. You win on Sunday versus Frisco, then you own the tiebreaker between Minnesota, and you could actually rest your players if you needed to.
No. No, you got that wrong.
If you guys win versus Green Bay, and we win versus Frisco, at the end of the season, if you beat us, we'll have a tie record, correct?
Yes, but we'll have won the division and the number 1 seed at that point.
Oh, okay. Well, I had that wrong. I thought.
Okay. That'd be nice. That would be nice.
Well,
now you guys can clinch this weekend the number 1 seed and the division.
If you guys lose and we win,
correct.
That's the scenario
that's the scenario that I would like to have.
Right.
But whoa.
Which is a different question.
You know the rules for this program.
Were you talking about preferring who you're going to play, and it plays into who I prefer to play? It doesn't matter if we have home field advantage.
You can't be wishing for the Packers to win, Joe.
I'm not wishing for the Packers to win. I'm simply wishing for Minnesota to lose. It's a difference. See, if the Packers win, that means they played good and look invincible. If the Vikings just happen to lose it by shooting themselves in the foot, that means, that kind of thing.
Now, if we lost and then beat you guys and you that's when the tie comes in and you own the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I got you.
But if we win out, we win. Period. And it's that simple and FTP. So
FTP is right.
Now there is a scenario in there where the Eagles can win the number 1 seed.
Dave,
but it takes us both losing.
I commend you because even though we were facing the Packers, you said FTP, you stuck with it, but I don't think Pay was singing that song.
Wait. You're accusing me of doing what now?
I don't recall. I recall Dave saying he can't cheer for the Packers matter what.
No matter what.
FTP. When that loss versus the Packers, if that was to happen, that would have helped Minnesota. He stood solid and said FTP. STP. We'll find another way. I don't recall those sentiments from you there, buddy.
Well, let me be emphatic. I would rather grade my tongue up and down every inch of Lower Wacker Drive here in Chicago than to cheer for the Packers to do anything positive. I would rather ship the Packers off in one of them SpaceX balloons right on with Elon and go right to Mars than to say they can stay here and if I have to cheer for them. There is no scenario in which I prefer the Packers to be winners. There's no scenario in which I prefer the Packers fans to be elated. I would prefer the Packers to go to hell. And
or at least Milwaukee. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, like, I'm not cheering. Like last night, right? Monday Night Football, that pained me. My team wasn't playing. Packers were playing the Saints, and they were looking awesome. That hurt me. I hated every second of every snap.
Yeah, but part of that was because the Saints look so bad.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't go that far. It didn't pain me. I looked at one of my fantasy football matchups, like, oh, the Packers are destroying the Saints defense. There's my win. Just not happy that they did it. But
for Green Bay then at that point for fantasy purposes.
No, I benefited from the Saints being bad. See, there's a difference.
Yeah, but you wanted the Saints to be bad, right?
Well, I had a 60-point lead. They didn't. There was some wiggle room. The Saints could have did some things. The Saints could have scored. It just so happens they didn't.
And you were happy about it.
I'm happy about that Cash App tingle I got at the end of the day.
Because it was a Green Bay tingle that you got.
Nope. Well, the icon was green because it's Cash App, but that's it.
But it was Packer green though.
Yeah, well, sometimes the Packers are in the way of my joy. Now they helped me be happy. They owe me.
The Packers have helped you be happy.
The Packers were in conjunction helping me be happy. And if you know me, I'm owed it. 2014, I haven't forgot.
Fine.
Let's go ahead and take this mandatory FFSN commercial break. If you're listening on audio, we'll be right back. Just take a few words from our sponsors and our advertising partners, and we will be right back with you. If you're watching live, you already know what to do. Stay put. Take a swig of water. In fact, take a shot of your favorite beverage, and the rest of the show will be right back in a jiffy. So, fellas, what we talked about the Week 17 matchups between the Detroit Lions. You all have the San Francisco 49ers, the Vikings. You all have the Green Bay Packers. They hated Green Bay Packers. None of us like them guys. The Bears are hoping that you softened up those Seattle Seabirds for them, so maybe they can finally get off the schneid after 9 weeks. Dave, what can you tell me about them? How do we attack them to finally get a win?
Hopefully have a good defensive rush, because that helped us, even though it was difficult. But Caleb Williams got to be on. You can throw on him. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got a heck of a pass rush themselves. So, which does not bode well for you. It's, I don't know. It should be interesting to see. I'm going to be able to watch it. So
what you're saying is 10th loss coming straight up. The Bears do not have a formidable pass rush. We've got some injuries of our own. Javon Dexter's been down. Billings, he tore his chest off the bone some weeks ago. So our interior pass rush has been terrible. Montez Sweat has been figured out. I forgot he was on the team.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah, forgot he was on the team. Jalen Johnson, the best player on the team. The guy who got the ball rolling and getting rid of Eberflus, ain't heard of him since then. You know, he's been getting picked on by a little bit by opposing quarterbacks. He's been kind of in the wind there. Tremaine Edmonds, our green dot, our highly paid middle linebacker. We signed him to replace Roquan Smith. I wish we still have Roquan because I ain't seen Tremont all season. I can't wait to watch the tape in the offseason so I can figure out what the hell he been at. So the defense has been pretty abysmal since we fired Eberflus. I damn near want Eberflus back. We've given up 30 points at least the last 3 games, at least 30. San Francisco put 30 on us, and that's the only win San Francisco's had in the last 5 weeks against the Bears. And they treated the Bears like the team you scheduled for homecoming. Like, oh, yeah, that's an easy dub. Bring them on. That's how they did the Bears. You all saw what the Lions did to the Bears. And who was it? The Vikings. The Bears didn't even show up that game. So
we went to overtime on the
no, Monday Night Football. Bears didn't even show up. You all had a cakewalk. Another bye week for you guys, Dave. You're welcome. So I have zero conviction that the Bears can turn this thing around against Seattle. And I don't think Seattle's that good of a squad. Seattle's a mid team. They're an okay team. They're not gutter. They're better than Arizona Cardinals, allegedly. Arizona Cardinals is a 7-7 team. Arizona Cardinals beat the Bears by 20 some odd points. I had no conviction. I have no faith. The only thing that I'm rooting for right now, I'm rooting for Caleb Williams to average 300 yards through the air the next 2 weeks. That will put Caleb Williams as the greatest quarterback in Chicago Bears history. Statistically.
Now, the Seahawks are still playing for their playoff lives, so they're going to be motivated.
They're motivated to get an easy win. I'm always motivated by easy, Dave, like a Staples commercial.
What's the weather forecast to be tomorrow night or Thursday night?
Thursday, it should be in the low 40s in Chicago. We have a bit of a late summer going on in Chicago right now. We got 40 degrees this week. Supposed to be in the 50s on the weekend.
So no white Christmas.
That's overrated. No white Christmas. No white Christmas. Because in Chicago, we probably have a white February through April. Yeah. Yeah. For the Packers are playing the Vikings this week. The Packers have a formidable team. They're not trash or anything like that. They've lived up to the hype. I don't know if Jordan Love has lived up to the hype of his contract, but they are definitely better than all of us gave them credit going through the offseason. What do the Vikings have to do to make sure the Packers do not get a W in Week 17?
Score more points than they do.
More
always. No, we've got to make sure that Jordan Love is not completing passes. We got to disrupt them, just like we did when we first played him in the season. Before Jordan Love supposedly got good, we dominated and we went out 3 or 4 touchdown lead, and then we just cruised to a victory. They came back in the late the 4th, but it was garbage time and it didn't matter, and there was no way they're going to catch us. We got to do basically the same thing. And in our house, which will be rocking, it's not going to be up. You're not going to hear, and God forbid if we hear, "Go Pack, go," in our stadium. Hopefully, because this is a very special, magical season, our fans aren't selling off tickets to their favorite cheesehead friends, and we don't hear that. But we'll see. And for us, it's stay healthy. We're getting healthier. We're going to have Harrison Hitman Smith back. We're going to have Ivan Pace back on the defense, which will make a huge difference in the run game. And however, the run game did great against Seattle. We stopped their run. It's going to be an interesting battle because obviously they're running like crazy, which is fine. If we stop that and make it Jordan Love win it, we should win this game. We're the better team.
So says the position where you sit in the standings. I do want to recount that you said this is the second time you all seen them this season. If everyone remembers, that was a bit of a barn burner, an unexpected barn burner. The Minnesota Vikings went up 28-0 and won the game 31-29.
But we were ahead the whole time, and we'd never dropped below. We were 90% win probability rate with like the last couple minutes.
But again, don't take them lightly. I need you all to go ahead and bring it home, Dave.
I think they want to. They know the first thing that Vikings have to do if they want a chance at all to win the division, and hopefully the NFC number one seed, they must win this game and make week 18 meaningful. Because if they lose and Detroit wins, week 18's nothing. Both teams can rest their starters. It doesn't matter.
Well, the difference between this first game and last game, Josh Jacobs a little bit of a tear right now too. So it's not all just Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs has been carrying that offense pretty far. I'm anxious to see if Quay Walker is going to be healthy for that game too, because he's dynamic linebacker for the Packers. I think he missed yesterday's game against the Saints, and he got hurt the game prior. So if he's playing, I expect this game to be very entertaining.
I think it's going to be closer than the first one throughout the game, not just there at the end. But it's going to be a test. That's why I'm hoping Ivan Pace is back, because we got Blake Cashman, who's basically our middle linebacker in the 3-4. He plays our strong side off-ball linebacker. Ivan Pace is the pass rush / run blitzing specialist. When he comes in, that's why we can't wait to have him back, because it's a downgrade when he's out, or either one of them is out. When Cashman was out, the 2 games, those are the 2 games we lost. And it's going to be interesting in the fact that this one will be an eyeball watcher. It's got flex to the 325 game on Fox. It's the nationwide, got their number one crew with Tom Brady doing the broadcast. Everybody can watch, doesn't conflict with any of your games. And it's going to be down for it, because Green Bay wants to play spoiler. They without a doubt want to say, yeah, see ya, you guys don't have it in you. So, and it would take, Green Bay can win the division if we lose out, and I think the Lions lose out, they win. And let's not have that happen at all, period.
Nothing would make me more happy than the Packers to lose out, because obviously the Packers play you guys on week 17 and they finish your season with a familiar foe. Nothing would make me happier. I have a little less belief that they will. That would be the greatest Christmas gift I could ever have. Let's go ahead and play some actual spoiler to the teams that actually need to be spoiled. Speaking of spoiled, that rotten dairy up there in Wisconsin. Let me tell you something, Dave. I'm sorry. Let me tell you something here, June. I would rather fly into Wuhan, China, and ingest all of the oxygen available than a cheer for the Packers.
Okay. Nice.
I would rather go skinny dipping in the East River by New York, in the Hudson than to cheer for the Packers. Dave, what we got coming up on the Vikings First and Goal channel as we get ready for this big time divisional matchup?
Well, tonight we have Sal Spice with another Victory Tuesday episode, and it'll also be our combined Christmas episode. We're going to try to get everybody that's on the Fans First Network to contribute in some fashion or way, but we're going to first talk about that Seattle Seahawks victory and how that went. And that's what we've got coming on. And then Thursday we'll have another probably either Sal Spice or Real Forno show or both. Who knows? And we'll roll into the week. Well, at those point in times, we'll be doing Packers games previews. And we hate the cheese weasels over on the Viking side.
Yeah. Cheese is overrated. You can catch all of this great content right here at Vikings First and Goal. If you're watching live on YouTube, you see where you can find their audio and their YouTube channel. For those listening to audio, the information will be in the details. B. Foster, June. Not a big divisional matchup, but you do have a must-win, so to speak, this weekend. For those interested in hearing your in-depth coverage, previews, reviews of the game, where can they get that?
You can get that on Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. You can follow us at all the aggregators. Just type in Bleachers to Speakers, FFSN. Make sure that notification bell is on. So when we go live, you'll get an alert, download those episodes. The next show will be on Monday because I believe this is a Monday night game. So we'll be going live Monday before the game and shortly after the game for the wrap-up show.
I do find you all's wrap-up show. You and the 2-minute drill, not 2-minute drill, but
live at the 2-minute warning.
Live at the 2-minute warning. You got caught me there. Not today, Diddy. I do stop in from time to time and check you guys out. Great stuff. And always with everyone watching the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel, we appreciate the views and everybody that stops through and shares our content and enjoys our content. We are doing good stuff over here. I am very proud of what we've done as a channel this season, even though we're covering a team that's not very helpful in making good content.
Oh, wow.
Going through bad seasons can also bring great content because
trust me, yes, I know that. We covered the Pistons last year.
You gotta dig deep. You gotta dig deep there, guys. You gotta make the content real guttural, right? You gotta bring it from your soul. It's a little easier when the team is good because everybody's entertained. So you gotta reach deep in your bag to find good content when the team is trash. So shout out to everybody that's helping us stay on task with that. We appreciate it. June, what do they say at those Lions games? I did say guttural, right? Not the most intimidating growl, but we get the gist. Dave.
Well, you know that growl. You saw it Sunday.
Yeah, we definitely did. The Bears, king of the jungle, did not fare too well. Dave,
we say Skull Vikings.
Everyone have a great holiday. Dave, you wanted to serenade the viewer?
Yeah. Normally I do an epic poem. Well, this time it's not going to be epic, but it is a poem. 'Twas the night before Christmas on FFSN's show where Who Will Be King hosts were ready to go with Pay from the Bear Claw sharing Chicago's tale and June and Foster's Lions set to prevail. While Dave from Vikings First brought Minnesota's might, they gathered to discuss this division's fight. The Lions stood proud with their franchise best year as Goff's 3 touchdowns brought holiday cheer. while Jamison Williams blazed down the field. His career high performance refused to yield. The Vikings with Darnold, 8 straight they had won. With Jefferson catches, their magic not done. Their record impressive at 13-2 as playoffs hope sparkled like fresh morning dew. The Packers brought joy with their shout-out so rare as Love led the offense with a passionate flair. With Jacobs so swift and their playoff spot clinched, Green Bay's faithful cheered as victory was pinched. The Bears fans were frustrated through 9 losses long as they dreamed of next season to right what went wrong. But hope springs eternal in the division bold as new chapters of rivalry continue to unfold. Now all the eyes turn forward to Week 17's light, where the Lions face the Niners on Monday night's flight, while the Vikings host the Packers in their purple dome, and the Bears welcome the Seahawks to their Soldier Field home. As the hosts wrap up their show with holiday cheer, they wished Merry Christmas to the fans far and near. And we heard them all exclaim as they faded from sight, "Happy football to all, and to all a good night."
Thanks a lot, everyone. See us next week. Go Bears. Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.